The rain-slicked streets of San Francisco gleamed under the sodium lamps like veins of forgotten promises. And in that moment, as thunder cracked the sky open, Austin felt his world shatter not with a bang, but with the quiet click of a door closing forever. His father, Harlan Whitaker, the iron-fisted patriarch of Whitaker Enterprises, stood tall in the oak-paneled boardroom of their family empire. His voice steady as he announced the heir apparent. "Ethan, my son, the company is yours. You've proven your mettle." Austin, heart pounding like a war drum in his chest, watched his older brother accept the gilded keys, the room erupting in applause that drowned out the storm raging inside him. 29 years of loyalty, of late nights crunching numbers in the shadows while Ethan glad-handed clients. And it all boiled down to this: invisible, unworthy, the gay son who dared to love differently. Ethan's grin split wide, all polished teeth and predatory charm, as he clapped Austin on the back a little too hard. "Hey, little bro, don't look so glum. Plenty of scraps for the rest of us." The words landed like acid on open wounds. But Austin forced a smile, the kind he'd perfected over years of boardroom facades and family dinners where his relationships were whispered scandals. Harlan's eyes met his for a fleeting second, steel gray, unyielding, and then flicked away, as if acknowledging Austin's existence was a momentary lapse in judgment. The company, built from Harlan's immigrant grit into a tech conglomerate dominating Silicon Valley's supply chains, was Ethan's now. Austin slipped out into the downpour, the cold needles of rain mixing with hot tears on his cheeks, wondering if love is love for Jordan, for the life they'd carved in stolen moments would ever be enough to fill the void of a father's rejection. By the time Austin reached their loft in the Castro district, the city's heartbeat of rainbow flags and unapologetic pride pulsing through the fog, Jordan was waiting with arms open and a bottle of bourbon half empty on the counter. Jordan Reyes, 31, with his warm olive skin, easy laugh lines around hazel eyes, and the kind of effortless strength from years as a graphic designer turned activist, pulled Austin close without a word. "Rough night," he murmured, fingers threading through Austin's wet hair, the scent of sandalwood and rain-soaked wool enveloping them. Austin buried his face in Jordan's neck, the solid warmth cracking his armor just enough to let the sob escape. "He gave it all to Ethan, like I was never even there." Jordan held him tighter, his voice a low rumble of shared fury. "You're more than that company. AUS. You're the one who sees the soul in the numbers, not just the profit. Harlan's blind, but the world's not." They collapsed onto the worn leather couch, Jordan's hand tracing lazy circles on Austin's back as the city lights flickered through the floor-to-ceiling windows. Austin spilled it all the way Harlan had built Whitaker Enterprises from a garage startup in the 80s, importing rare earth minerals for the booming tech scene, turning it into a billion-dollar beast. How Austin had clawed his way up from intern to CFO, his spreadsheets the silent backbone of Ethan's flashy deals. And how, 2 years ago, when Austin finally came out at a family barbecue, Harlan's response had been a curt, "That's your business, not mine," followed by months of icy silences that screamed volumes. Jordan listened, his thumb brushing away a stray tear, then leaned in for a kiss that tasted of salt and solace. "Fuck them. We build our own legacy." But even as their bodies tangled in the dim glow, Austin's mind wandered to the what-ifs. The ache of being the son who loved men, who dared to be whole in a world that still measured worth by straight lines. The weeks blurred into a haze of forced normalcy. Austin threw himself into freelance consulting, his laptop a lifeline in coffee shops buzzing with queer coders and drag queens nursing hangovers. Jordan's latest exhibit at a Mission District gallery, a series of portraits celebrating trans elders, drew crowds. And Austin swelled with pride watching his partner navigate the spotlight with that quiet fire. Yet, The Whitaker name lingered like a ghost. Invites to galas arrived addressed to Ethan. Whispers of board meetings filtering through old colleagues. One evening, as they strolled hand in hand through Dolores Park, the summer sun dipping low and painting the skyline gold, Austin stopped under a cypress tree. What if I just let it go? The company, the family start fresh. Jordan turned, cupping Austin's face with calloused artist hands. You can't run from blood. Me more. But you don't have to bleed for it either. Their kiss there, public and defiant, drew a few approving nods from picnickers, a reminder that San Francisco cradled outcasts like them. Still, doubt gnawed, was freedom worth the erasure? Ethan's reign began with fireworks. Press releases hailed him as the visionary steering Whitaker into AI frontiers. Partnerships with startups in Austin. Texas ironic. Austin thought. Biting back the pun. Shares skyrocketed. Harlan beaming from yacht photos in the society pages. Austin monitored from afar. A masochistic ritual over morning coffee. Until the first cracks appeared. A whistleblower email landed in his inbox 6 months in, anonymous. Laced with desperation. Ethan's cooking the books. Offshore accounts. If you care about the legacy, do something. Austin's stomach twisted. He deleted it. Then fished it from trash. Heart hammering. Jordan found him pacing at midnight. It's nothing. Austin lied. But Jordan's eyes narrowed. Wise to the fracture. Lies don't suit you. Talk. Over takeout foes steaming on the table. Austin confessed the email. The pole of old loyalties warring with fresh scars. Jordan set down his chopsticks. Voice gentle but firm. You're not saving them. AUS. You're saving yourself from regret. But regret was a sly beast. Austin dug quietly. His forensic accounting skills unearthed a web of falsified invoices. Kickbacks from shady suppliers in Southeast Asia. Ethan's signature bloomed like poison ivy across the ledgers. He confronted no one. Not yet cowardice or caution. He couldn't tell. Instead, he poured the fury into Jordan. Their nights a tempest of passion and pleas. One dawn, tangled in sheets damp with sweat, Jordan whispered against Austin's collarbone. I love you. All your jagged edges. But don't lose yourself chasing ghosts. Austin traced the tattoo on Jordan's ribs, a phoenix, rising from ash, and vowed silently to bury the past. Until the scandal broke like a dam. It hit the front page of the Chronicle. Whitaker heir implicated in multi-million fraud. Photos of Ethan. Handcuffs glinting under flashbulbs. His face a mask of feigned shock. The markets tanked. Suppliers bolted. Employees whispered of layoffs. Harlan's empire, once unassailable, teetered on bankruptcy's edge. Austin's phone exploded, old colleagues begging for insight. Reporters sniffing leads. He ignored them. Pulling up with Jordan in a Big Sur cabin for the weekend. The ocean's roar a bomb. But on the drive back, as redwoods blurred past, his father's call pierced the Bluetooth. Austin, we need to talk. Now. The voice, cracked for the first time in memory, carried the weight of surrender. The old Whitaker mansion in Pacific Heights loomed like a mausoleum, its Victorian spires clawing at the fog. Harlan waited in the study, diminished in his armchair. The room's leather-bound tomes mocking his fall. No Ethan, just father and forgotten son. Sit. Harlan grunted, pouring scotch with trembling hands. Austin perched on the edge of the settee, the air thick with cigar smoke and unspoken indictments. Ethan. He's in over his head. The feds are circling. The board's panicking. Harlan's eyes, red-rimmed, finally held Austin's. I need you. You're mind the numbers. Save it. Save us. The plea hung, raw and ragged, stripping Harlan bare. Austin's laugh was bitter, a shard of glass. Us. When have I ever been part of us? You handed it to him because he's straight. Normal. I'm the mistake you tolerate. Harlan flinched, but his jaw set. I was wrong. Pride's a fool's crown. Please. Son. The word son landed like a lifeline or a noose. Austin couldn't breathe. He stormed out, tires screeching down the hill, straight to Jordan's arms. He begged me. Austin gasped, collapsing against the studio wall amid half-finished canvases. Jordan pulled him down to the floor, their foreheads touching. And what do you want? The question echoed through the night, as they made love slow and deliberate, reclaiming each other amid the chaos. Dawn brought clarity, not for Harlan, not for Ethan, but for the hundreds of employees, the welders in Oakland factories, the coders in Bengaluru call center SWOD lose everything. For the legacy Austin had bled for in silence. Reluctantly, Austin stepped back in. The boardroom was a viper's nest. Executives in tailored suits eyeing him like a ghost risen to haunt. CFO Whitaker returns. One smirked, but Austin silenced them with a presentation that dissected the fraud like a surgeon's scalpel. He traced the money trails to Cayman shells, rallied loyalists to plug leaks. Days bled into nights. Coffee-fueled marathons where Jordan left care packages of tamales and notes. You're a force. Come home soon. But home felt fractured. Ethan, out on bail, cornered him in the hallway one evening, reeking of bourbon. Playing hero now. Daddy's little secret weapon. His sneer twisted into something uglier. You think coming out made you special? It's why he chose Muriel Mann for a real job. The punch landed before Austin could think. Ethan's nose crunching under his fist. Blood spraying the carpet. Security dragged Ethan away. But the damage lingered. A bruise on Austin's knuckles mirroring the one on his soul. As the feds closed in, Austin uncovered the rot's root, Harlan's own complicity. A desperate bid to shield Ethan from earlier debts. The confrontation in the study redux was volcanic. You knew. Austin roared, slamming ledgers on the desk. Harlan sagged, confessions spilling like bile. I thought blood meant protecting the golden child. But you're the steel spine. Tears carved tracks down the old man's face. First Austin had ever seen. Forgiveness wasn't a light switch. It flickered, dim then blinding. I'll testify, Austin said finally. But not for you. For the truth. The trial gripped the Bay Area like a fever dream. Headlines screamed, Whitaker, dynasty crumbles. Paparazzi swarming the courthouse steps. Jordan stood sentinel beside Austin, their clasped hands a quiet rebellion against the suits and stares. Ethan's testimony crumbled under cross, his lies fracturing like cheap glass. Harlan took the stand. Voice steady, my younger son. Austin's the heart I ignored. The one who saved us all. The words, public and irrevocable, hit Austin like absolution. Convictions landed Ethan to prison. Harlan to probation. Fines that gutted the empire but left bones to rebuild. In the aftermath, Whitaker Enterprises rose phoenix-like under Austin's helm, pivoting to ethical sourcing. Green tech alliances that honored workers from mine to motherboard. The boardroom transformed no more oak shadows, but glass walls letting light flood in. Harlan visited the new office one crisp autumn day. Frail but eyes alight. Proud of you, son. Austin nodded, the knot in his chest loosening. Takes two to mend a bridge. Ethan wrote from lockup. A scrawled apology that Austin burned unread, some wounds scar over time. Jordan proposed on the Golden Gate Bridge at sunset. Wind whipping their coats. Ring glinting like a promise. Build forever with me. Austin's yes was a vow, sealing their chapter amid the city's eternal hum. The family dinner that Christmas was tentative, Harlan at the head. Austin and Jordan hand in hand across from him. Laughter tentative but blooming. In the quiet moments, Austin saw it, humanity's fragile weave. Threads of love defying the straight and narrow. He'd saved more than a company had reclaimed his place, proving that the outcast's light burns brightest in the storm. The gavel's echo still reverberated in Austin's ears as he navigated the throngs outside the courthouse, flashbulbs popping like gunfire. Jordan's arm around his waist was the only anchor, a steady pressure against the tide of reporters shouting questions. Mr. Whitaker, any comment on your brother's betrayal? Austin's jaw clenched, but he kept walking, head high, the weight of victory laced with ash. It had been 6 months since the plea. 6 months of depositions that peeled back layers of family deceit like onion skins, each revelation stinging deeper. Now, with Ethan in federal custody awaiting sentencing and Harlan's empire in ruins, Austin wondered if salvation tasted this bitter. Jordan squeezed his side, murmuring, eyes on the horizon. Love, we've got this. Back at the loft, the adrenaline crash hit hard. Austin paced the kitchen, Jordan brewing chamomile tea with the precision of a ritual. He set it on the stand proud. After everything, Jordan slid the mug across the island, steam curling like unanswered prayers. Words are cheap until actions back them. Give it time. But time was the luxury Austin had never afforded. From boyhood dreams of captaining the family ship to the reality of mopping up Ethan's oil slicks, he sank onto a stool, head in hands. What if I can't rebuild? What if I'm just the fixer, not the leader? Jordan knelt before him, hazel eyes locking with blue, thumbs tracing Austin's knuckles still faintly scarred from that hallway brawl. You're the one who turned fraud into fairness. That's leadership, raw and real. Sleep came fitful, dreams tangled with ledger columns morphing into prison bars. Ethan's face leering from shadows. Dawn broke gray. Jordan already sketching at his drafting table, the loft filled with the scratch of charcoal on paper. Austin joined him, coffee in hand, watching lines bloom into a portrait, himself, fierce and unbowed, against a backdrop of circuit boards and rain-swept streets. For the gallery, Jordan said softly, a hero's face. The tenderness cracked Austin open, and he pulled Jordan into a kiss that deepened, bodies pressing close until they tumbled to the rug, rediscovering each other in the morning light. Love, Austin thought amid gasps and whispers, was the true Inheritancino board vote required. The board convened in a sterile conference room downtown, sunlight slicing through blinds like judgment. The remnants loyalists who'd stuck through the storm. A few nervous holdovers eyed Austin warily as he took the head seat. Once Ethan's throne. Gentlemen, ladies, he began, voice steady, projecting slides of restructured debt, ethical supplier audits. Whitaker isn't dying. It's evolving. Murmurs rippled. Skepticism hung thick. Margaret Hale, the sharp-eyed VP of operations, a woman in her 50s with steel-gray bob and no-nonsense pantsuits, leaned forward. Bold words. Austin, but investors are fleeing. We need a miracle. He met her gaze, channeling the fire Jordan stoked in him. Miracles are made in the margins. We're pivoting to sustainable mining tech blockchain transparency for every mineral. Partners in Bolivia, not backroom deals. The pitch landed, tentative nods turning to applause. But victory soured when Harlan arrived unannounced, shuffling in with a cane he'd never needed before. The room hushed. Austin's pulse thrummed. Father. Harlan's nod was curt, eyes scanning the faces like a general surveying troops. Heard the plan. Solid. A beat. Then quieter. For Austin's ears alone, like you always were. The elder Whitaker retreated to a corner chair. Observer now. Not king. Post-meeting. As staff filed out, Harlan lingered. Dinner. Just us. Austin hesitated. The old wound twinging. Jordan too. Harlan's jaw ticked. But he agreed. Family. The restaurant in North Beach was intimate. Candlelit tables murmuring with Italian secrets. Jordan arrived in a crisp button-down that hugged his broad shoulders. Charm dialed to disarming. Harlan shook his hand firmly. No limp fish this time. Over osso buco and Chianti. Conversation stuttered weather. Then weather in the markets. Austin steered to safer waters, Jordan's exhibit. The Phoenix series drawing queer youth like moths. Harlan listened. For pausing. Art's not my wheelhouse. But pride. That's something. The word hung. Loaded. Jordan's foot nudged Austin's under the table. A silent cheer. As plates cleared, Harlan cleared his throat. I pushed Ethan because he was safe. Like me. You challenged that. Scared me. Austin's throat tightened. Fear's a hell of a teacher. Harlan's eyes glistened. Lesson learned too late. Never too late. Austin replied. And meant it. A bridge beam slotting into place. Word spread, Austin Whitaker. The prodigal son turned savior. Suppliers who'd ghosted trickled back. Enticed by transparency reports, Austin blasted publicly. He hired queer coders for the blockchain team. Women of color for supply chain oversight diversity, not as checkbox. But compass. Late nights at the office blurred with Jordan's visits. Takeout picnics on the rooftop overlooking the bay. One evening, as ferries cut wakes in the water below, Jordan uncorked wine. You're glowing. AUS. This suits you. Austin leaned into him. City lights reflecting in their glasses. It's us. You remind me who I am when the suits try to redefine me. Their laughter mingled with foghorns. Love a quiet revolution. But shadows lingered. Ethan's trial loomed. Sentencing in 2 weeks. Austin received the subpoena witness for the prosecution. Nights before, he pored over emails. Ethan's venomous missives unearthed. Faggot thinks he can play CEO. Watch me burn it down. The words clawed. Reopening gashes. Jordan found him at 3 a.m. Laptop aglow. Enough. He shut the screen, drawing Austin to bed. He's poison. Your antidote. In the dark, confessions flowed Austin's fear of becoming Harlan. Rigid and blind. Jordan's hand on his heart. You'll bend. Not break. That's your strength. The courtroom was a pressure cooker. Air thick with legal briefs and resentment. Ethan, an ill-fitting suit, glared from the dock. His once chiseled face hollowed by stress. Harlan testified first. Voice quavering, my ambition blinded me. Ethan followed my lead-wrong lead. Then Austin, sworn in, detailing the fraud with clinical precision. Each fact a nail. Cross-examination turned personal, defense attorney sneering. So, Mr. Whitaker, resentment over your lifestyle fueled this vendetta. The gallery gasped. Judge's gavel cracked. But Austin held. Eyes on Jordan in the back row. No vendetta. Just truth. And love for the company. For family. Despite the hate. The jury's verdict 20 years echoed like thunder. Ethan's breakdown a spectacle of shattered entitlement. Outside, rain lashed the steps again, mirroring that fateful night. Harlan joined them. Umbrella shared. It's over. Austin nodded. Arm around Jordan. Beginning. At home, they toasted with bourbon. Bodies entwining in celebration and release. To us, Jordan whispered. And Austin echoed. The future vast as the Pacific. Rebuilding wasn't linear. It zigzagged through boardroom battles and bedroom confessions. Austin's first major deal partnership with a Bolivian co-op for conflict-free minerals drew fire from traditionalists. Too woke. Grumbled old guard like Reginald Thorne. A paunchy exec with an 80s mustache and zero patience for social experiments. In a tense all hands, Austin stood firm, woke. It's smart. Consumers demand ethics. Our stocks up 15% on the announcement. Cheers from the new blood drowned Reginald's scoff. Victory tasted sweet. But Austin craved Jordan's validation more. Racing home to the loft where dinner waited, Jordan's arroz con pollo, fragrant with achiote and love. They ate on the balcony. City sprawl twinkling below. Conversation drifting to wedding plans. Something small, Jordan mused. Fork twirling plantains. Rooftop here. Drag queens as officiant. Austin laughed. The sound freeing. Hell yes. And Harlan walks me if he behaves. Jordan's eyes softened. He's trying. Saw him at the farmer's market last week. Buying rainbow chard like it was contraband. The image cracked Austin up, easing the Harlan-shaped knot in his chest. Post-dinner, they danced slow to Nina Simone on the turntable. Jordan's chin on Austin's shoulder. You're my North Star, Austin murmured, nuzzling his neck. The night unfolded lazy. Limbs entwined. Whispers of vows mingling with Moan's intimacy as rebellion, reaffirming their bond amid empire's echoes. Harlan's probation chafed. House arrest in the mansion turned the patriarch inward. Austin visited weekly, armed with takeout and tentative talks. One afternoon, amid dusty trophies from Ethan's lacrosse days, Harlan pulled a photo album from a shelf. Yellowed pages chronicled Austin's childhood, gap-toothed grin at Giants games. Awkward teen phases blurred by braces. Missed these. Harlan grunted, finger tracing a shot of young Austin in a lab coat, tinkering with circuits. You were always the builder. Austin's throat bobbed. Felt like the outsider. Harlan closed the album, eyes distant. Fear of losing control. Your mother, God rest her, loved fiercely. Warned me pride would cost. The mention of Elena. Gone a decade to cancer. Stung fresh. She'd be proud now. Harlan's hand on Austin's shoulder. Tentative. Of both sons. Even the broken one. Word of Ethan's appeal filtered through lawyers frivolous. But a thorn. Austin ignored it, focusing on the employee retreat in Napa Valley. Vines heavy with Cabernet grapes under September sun. He keynote by the pool. Vision of Whitaker 2.0, inclusive innovation. Attendees diverse faces from factories to Seasootish cheered. Toasts raised to Austin's Whitaker. Margaret pulled him aside later. Wineglass in hand. You're what we needed. Ethan's flash. You're fire. The praise warmed. But isolation nipped Jordan back in the city, prepping his next show. That night, alone in the vineyard bungalow, Austin video called. Screen filling with Jordan's smile. Miss you. Bed's too big. Jordan's laugh low. Tell me about the grapes. Flirtation turned feverish. Pixels no barrier to desire. Austin's release a sigh into the dark. Back in San Francisco, the city pulsed with pride prep floats assembling in warehouses. Sequins scattering like confetti. Austin dove in, sponsoring a Whitaker booth for queer STEM kids. Jordan co-designing banners blazing Code Your Truth. At the kickoff party in a Soma warehouse. Bass thumping. Bodies swaying under strobes. They lost themselves in the crowd. Jordan's hands on Austin's hips. Grinding to the beat. Lips brushing ear. This is use unfiltered. Sweat slick. They claimed a dark corner. Kiss hungry in public. Defiance electric. Later, stumbling home, Austin confessed a fear. What if success changes us? Makes me like him, Harlan. Jordan halted on the sidewalk, cupping his face. Never. You're velvet over steel. Soft heart. Unbreakable will. The appeal hearing was a formality. Judge dismissing it with a flick. But Ethan's letter arrived that week. Forwarded from prison. You won. Happy. Blood's thicker than your boyfriend's ink. Austin's hand shook, crumpling it. But Jordan intercepted, reading aloud with theatrical scorn. Pathetic. Burn it with me. They did. Flames dancing in the sink. Catharsis and ash. Harlan called next day. Heard. Good riddance to grudges. Progress. Incremental. Autumn deepened. Leaves carpeting Golden Gate Park paths. Austin proposed a family hike. Harlan. Jordan. Himself testing waters. The trail wound steep. Harlan's cane tapping rhythm. Conversation meandered, tech trends. Then Elena's recipes. At the summit. Vista sprawling. Harlan turned. Marry him right. Deserves the best. Austin blinked back, sting. We will. Jordan. Ever the glue. Snapped a photo. 3 men silhouetted against bay fog. Bridges literal and figurative. Holiday lights twinkled early. Whitaker's holiday party, a rebirth gala at the Young Museum. Austin in tailored velvet blazer. Jordan matching in emerald silk. They glided through crowds. Harlan cornered them by a Calder mobile. Scotch in hand. Speech. Austin demurred. But Jordan nudged. Go on. Heart pounding. Austin took the mic. From ashes. We rise. To second chances. To love that defies boardrooms. Applause thundered. Harlan's nod. Proud. Later. On the balcony overlooking the Presidio. Jordan pulled a velvet box. Not waiting for the bridge. Marry me nowish. Ring simple platinum band etched with circuits. Austin's yes choked with joy. Kiss sealing fate under museum glow. Wedding fever gripped the loft like a benevolent virus. Invites went out on recycled paper. Embossed with Phoenix motifs, Jordan's touch. Guest list, Margaret and her wife. Queer coders from the team. Even a parole officer friend of Harlan's who'd seen worse falls. Venue, a vineyard in Sonoma. Rows of Zinfandel framing vows against oak-studded hills. Austin's suit fittings became therapy sessions. Taylor pinning hems while he vented launch jitters for the new ethical line. Breathe. Jordan advised over FaceTime from a supply run. His truck bed loaded with fabric swatches. You're not selling. You're sharing soul. Harlan's involvement surprised. He insisted on rehearsal dinner at the mansion. Dusting off Elena's china. The evening unfolded awkward, charming. Toasts clinking amid crystal. Harlan raised his glass. Voice gravelly. To Austin and Jordan, may your union outshine any empire. Eyes met across the table. History's weight lifting fractionally. Jordan. Gracious. Countered. To family found. Not born. Laughter eased tensions. Port flowing free. Later. Harlan pulled Austin aside in the library. Fire crackling. Your mother would have adored him. Feisty. Like her. Austin swallowed. She'd say you're coming around. Harlan's chuckle rueful. Late bloomer. Pride weekend crashed in vibrant parade floats thundering down Market Street. Rainbow warriors in feather boas and leather. Whitaker's booth buzzed. Kids coding VR experiences of queer history hacks. Austin manned the demo. Jordan filming for his doc series. A teen. Shy with blue-streaked hair. Approached. Your story inspires. Came out last month. Austin's hug was fierce. Own it. World's bigger for your light. Jordan captured the moment. Later editing it into a reel that went viral. Shares spiking with Whitaker pride. But corporate wolves circled. A rival firm. Apex Dynamics ruthless under CEO Vance Keller. A silver fox with a shark's smile poached key talent. Whispering Whitaker's soft ethics meant weakness. Boardroom erupted, Reginald pounding fist. Fight dirty or fold. Austin quelled it. I steal. We win clean. Counter with our audit, public proof we're unassailable. Press conference followed. Austin at podium. Jordan offstage mouthing, you got this. flanked by Bolivian partners via video. He unveiled blockchain demos. Transparency trumping smears. Stock rebounded. Keller's sneer on CNBC wilted. Midsummer heat wave baked the city. Loft fans wearing feudal. Austin escaped to the office AC. But deadlines loomed for the wedding vows drafted on napkins during lunch. Jordan's, in circuits and colors. I choose you. Austin's pen hovered. Tears blurring, from shadows to sun. You're my code. They practiced by the bay. Seals barking approval. Fog rolling in like applause. Harlan's health dipita flu turning pneumonia. Hospital sterile under fluorescent hum. Austin sat vigil. Jordan fetching coffee runs. Stubborn old coot. Jordan teased. But worry etched his face. Harlan rallied. Discharge papers signed with a wink. Can't miss the wedding. Got ringside. Recovery brought depth. Weekly chess games in the park. Harlan teaching Jordan openings. Banter bridging generations. Knight to e4. Harlan instructed. Jordan's move bold. Check your biases. Harlan. Laughter. Genuine. Bachelorette fused queer style. Drag brunch at a Castro spot. Mimosas bottomless. Margaret emceed. Roasting Austin. From closet to corner office sleigh. King. Jordan's counterpart, gallery crawl. Queer artists toasting with absinthe. Reunited pre-dawn. They collapsed giggling. Hands exploring familiar terrain. Forever starts messy. Austin whispered. Jordan's reply a kiss. Perfect. Sonoma dawned golden. Vines whispering secrets. Ceremony under arbor draped in ivy and lights. Officiant in full drag glitter fabulous. Harlan walked Austin. Arm linked steady. Whisper, handsome as your mother. Vows exchanged. Rings sliding home. Kiss sealing amid cheers. Reception feasted on farm to table. Toasts heartfelt. Margaret's to reinvention. Harlan's quiet to love's quiet power. Dance floor ignited. Jordan twirling Austin under stars. World fading to two. Honeymoon in big circliff-top cabin. Ocean symphony. Days blurred. Hikes to hidden coves. Nights in tangled sheets. Husband. Jordan tested. Grin wicked. Austin's heart swelled. Always. Return thrust into action. Apex merger rumor hostile bid. Austin rallied troops. War room humming. Jordan's designs branded the counter-campaign. Choose integrity. Victory, bid withdrawn. Headlines hailing Whitaker's stand. Life-layered adoptions pondered over breakfast. Harlan's grandkids' dream murmured. Pride evolved. Austin keynoting at national conference. Jordan's film premiering. Legacy wove. Company thriving. Family mending. Love anchoring. One evening. Bridge sunset. Austin reflected, from rain-soaked rejection to this rainbow horizon. Jordan's hand in his, our story. Epic. And so it was. The merger dust settled. But Apex's shadow lingered. Keller's emails congratulatory, with veiled threats. Austin archived them. Focus sharpening on expansion, a Shanghai outpost for Asian supply chains. Ethical audits mandatory. Jet lag hit hard on return. Jordan's welcome home paella a godsend. Missed your chaos. Austin groaned. Collapsing into embrace. Jordan's fingers kneaded shoulders. Tell me everything chopsticks to boardrooms. Over wine. Tales flowed, neon markets. Tense negotiations with Mandarin interpreters. Jordan's eyes sparkled. Global king. But come back to earth, our earth. Domestic bliss deepened, loft renovations. Walls knocked for an office nook overlooking the bay. Painters in. Colors chosen. Jordan's teal accents. Austin's neutral grays. Harlan contributed, an antique desk from Elena's attic. Polished oak whispering history. For the next chapter. He said. Delivery truck idling. Austin traced grain. Thanks. Dad. The word slipped easy now. Bridge solidifying. Fall brought awards season Whitaker snagging Sustainable Innovator at a Silicon Valley gala. Red carpet, nerves jangled. Jordan in bespoke suit. Austin tuxedo sharp. Cameras flashed. Questions probing. How's family healing post-scandal? Austin's arm around Jordan, stronger. Love rebuilds best. Inside. Speeches droned until Austin's turn. Ethics isn't Buzzard's backbone. Shout out to my husband. My co-CEO in life. Applause roared. Harlan. Front row. Stood ovation long. Post-gala after-party at a rooftop lounge. Champagne fizzing. Keller slithered up. Flute raised mockingly. To the pretty princes of purity. Venom dripped. Austin's retort cool. To wolves in sheepskin enjoy the view from below. Jordan's hand on back steadied. Later in cab, savage. Hot. Home. They shed finery. Laughter turning languid. Bodies mapping familiar joys. Thanksgiving loomed. First as Trio Plus. Harlan hosted. Mansion alive with aromas turkey brining. Pies cooling. Jordan chopped onions. Tears feigned, allergic to heteronormativity. Harlan's guffaw surprised. Table set heirloom silver. Grace Harlan led, for second acts. Conversation flowed, Ethan's appeal denied. A postcard curt. Let him stew. Austin said. Pies cut. Stories shared Elena's escapades in 70s SF. Queer underground. Harlan's eyes distant. She marched for you. Before you. Revelation hung sweet. December dashed, holiday markets. Lights strung Castro style. Austin volunteered at a shelter. Jordan designing cards for kids. Giving back. He said. Sorting toys. A boy. 10. Shy. Are you? Like me. Austin knelt. Yeah. And it's magic. Jordan's photo captured it. Framed later. New Year's Eve. Bridge countdown. Harlan joined. Kane ditched. Fireworks bursting. To 2026 brighter. Austin clinked. Jordan's kiss at midnight ceiling. Spring bloomed aggressive, Shanghai launch. Austin keynote ing in broken Mandarin. Crowd applauding. Jordan tagged. Sketching street scenes. Hotel nights electric. City hum fueling passion. World's ours. Jordan breathed. Sheets tangled. Back. Crisis minor. Supplier delay in Congo. Austin flew. Boots in red dirt. Negotiating with minor stories of lives upended by greed. Reforms promised. Hands shaken. Jordan's welcome, hero home. Debrief over dim sum. Tears for unseen struggles. Summer solstice party, loft packed. Queer collective dancing. Harlan cornered by drag aunties. Flustered charmed. Your dad's a catch. One winked. Austin laughed. Pulling Jordan to floor salsa spins. Sweat slick joy. Anniversary neared. Big Sir Redux. But with twist adoption agency meet. Papers signed tentative. Fostering first. Little Whit Reyes. Jordan dreamed. Austin's heart full. Apex folded Keller indicted for insider trading. Schadenfreude sipped over coffee. Karma's code. Austin quipped. Fall harvest, Napa retreat. Team building amid grapes. Harlan guest spoke. Lessons from falls. Vulnerability raw. Bonds forged. Thanksgiving redux, for now. Foster kid Timmy. Wide-eyed 8. Harlan's knee bounced gentle. Uncle Harlan. Timmy asked. Always. Pride 2026. Grander. Whitaker float leading drag coders. Ethical bots. Austin on chariot. Jordan beside. Harlan waving from sidelines. Wedding vow renewal whispered yearly ritual. Bridge or beach. Love's code. Updating eternal. Legacy layered, company green. Family vast. Austin's reflection and mirror scarred but shining. Jordan's arm around. Our empire. Hearts. Years folded like origami. Each crease a milestone etched in laughter and quiet storms. Timmy's adoption finalized on a crisp October day. Court papers signed with Jordan's steady hand and Austin's trembling one. The boy, with his mop of curls and questions sharper than any boardroom query, became their anchor homework battles over algebra. Bedtime stories of phoenixes rising. Harlan doted, spoiling with model trains in the mansion's attic. His gravel voice spinning tales of Grandpa's garage days. You build worlds, kiddo, he'd say. And Timmy's grin mirrored Austin's boyhood dreams. Whitaker thrived. Subsidiaries sprouting like vines, a nonprofit arm funding queer tech scholarships. Named Elena Initiative. Austin jetted to TED stages. Voice carrying. Innovation without inclusion is just exploitation. Backstage. Jordan waited with water bottle and kiss. Slade. Their rhythm works whirl. Holmes Harbor sustained. Date nights stolen at Ticarius. Hands linked under tables. Harlan's 80th loomed. Bash planned intimate. Vineyard. String lights. Elena's recipes revived. Toasts flowed. Margaret's, to the Whitaker who won hearts. Jordan's, to the father who learned to see. Harlan. Suit pressed. Eyes misty. Son's blood and chosen you mended what I broke. Dance with Timmy clumsy joyful. Austin twirling father too. Kane forgotten. Crisis crested minor. Cyber breach. Hacker demanding ransom. Austin's team quashed it. Blockchain fortress holding. Press lauded unbreakable Whitaker. But Toll lingered sleepless nights. Jordan's insomnia cures. Warm milk. Whispered vows renewed. Timmy's first Crushaw classmate. Non-binary sparked family talks. Love spectrum. Austin explained. Jordan adding art, drawings of hearts and prisms. Harlan grunted approval, as long as kind. Europe summer. Paris for Jordan's exhibit. Rome ruins with Timmy quizzing history. Gelato melts. Colosseum echoes Austin's hand in Jordan's. Timmy skipping ahead. Best dads. He declared. Gelato smeared. Fall board shuffle. Reginald retired. Successor a trans engineer. Fierce visioned. Diversity dividend. Austin toasted. Thanksgiving. Table groaning. Timmy's turkey carved triumphant. Harlan's story. Ethan's release nearing. Parole term strict. Forgive. Austin pondered. Boundaries. Yes. Ethan's visit tentative coffee shop neutral. Supervised. Leaner. Eyes haunted. Congrats on. Everything. Awkward. But olive branch. Timmy looks like you. Door cracked. Not flung. Pride eternal. Float evolved. Timmy waving rainbow flag. Family float. Anniversary stacked. Big Sir Cabin tradition. Now with S. Mores and stars. Aging like fine code. Jordan joked. Gray threading temples. Harlan's legacy fund. Scholarships for immigrant kids. Garage start vibes. Austin's speech. From rejection to redemption build boldly. Reflection in quiet. Austin. 40 now. Lines etching laugh and resolve. Jordan's mirror gaze. Still my wild card. Timmy's hug. Love you infinity. Story wove oncuses in kitchens. Crises conquered. Love's thread unbreakable. From scandal's shadow to light's embrace. Austin's arc, not savior, but self-saved. Family forged in fire's forge. Decades turn brought silver Jordan's hair. Austin's temples. Timmy's teens awkward tall. Whitaker global, Berlin hub. Tokyo ties. Ethics creed. Austin authored book, Ledgers of the Heart. Bestseller in boardrooms and bookstores. Jordan's films Oscar nodded. Docs on queer resilience. Harlan faded, gentle 90s. Stories looping. But eyes sharp for Timmy's robotics wins. Like you. Austinkering soul. Passing peaceful. Spring rain, tapping window. Funeral simple, Castro procession. Rainbow casket drape. Eulogy Austin's, he learned late. Love deep. Rest. Dad. Ethan attended. Suit somber. Post-prison life, quiet counseling gig. Amends slow. Handshake firm. Proud. Bro. Healing. Halting. Timmy outed at school bullies, slur viral. Austin's rage channeled, anti-hate campaign. Whitaker funding. Jordan's art, murals of unity. Timmy resilient, got your backs. Dads. Vows renewed golden, bridge. Timmy best man. To infinities. Rings exchanged. Legacy bloomed, Elena scholars coding revolutions. Timmy interning. Jordan exhibiting. Austin mentoring. Sunset walks. Hands linked. Our plot twist. Jordan quipped. Austin, best ending.